I've just got to take this time and testify for a moment. I mean, I know you're listening. I hope you're getting it. I hope you're receiving it. But the Bible says that we'll be saved by the testimonies of our faith. And I got to give you a couple of testimonies because sometimes we read about these things like this in the Bible and we don't take them practical. We don't grab a hold of them and bring them close to ourselves because we say, oh, that's in the Bible. That's what happened then. That's what God was doing then. No, God is a now God. He's the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. And what you're reading about is the living word. And as it happened there, God is making it happen even right now. And I just want to give you a couple of testimonies because we're talking about at the end of every 7 years, there shall be a release of debt. And we've been preaching this. And after we got done preaching this, I got a couple of letters in the mail all in 1 week. I can't even give you all the testimonies, but there's been numerous amounts of debt that we've been released from in our church. There was some monthly obligations we had here that had come to a close all in December. We were paying on our chairs, and we should come to a close in December. And they gave us our final bill, and it was double. And we had to give them a call and say, hey, what's going on? And why is it double? I thought we were on our last payment. And then God brought to my remembrance. I said, wait a minute. If I remember correctly, when we first started this loan, we had to put down a first and last month. So actually my last was held as a security deposit, and you should have that. And when they began to look at the records, they said, you know what, you're right. So your final payment for this month of December, and then you'll be completely done, is just the taxes and insurance will be $9.08. That was a cancellation or release of debt. You think that's not serious? Let me read something else for you. In my hand here, I got a letter from Wells Fargo Financial Services, a place where I had received student loans for. And to make a long story short, the college did not turn out to be what it was. It was an online school. It ended up shutting down. I had a lot of debt to pay for something I never went to. And I've been having this burden over my head for a while. And I got a letter here dated December the 5th. I didn't get it on the 5th, but it was sent out December the 5th. And I opened my front door one day and saw it on the ground, and I wondered, why did it get here? Because I have a mailbox down the road, but this letter was at my door. And it's not a special marked envelope, it's just normal mail, so why is it in my front door and not in my mailbox? So I began to be a little suspect to get to start. And when I opened the envelope, I said, oh, this is Wells Fargo. Let me read the letter. December the 5th, Clarence Griffin. Dear Clarence Griffin, this letter is to advise you that Wells Fargo has ceased collection on the above loan due to the statutes of limitation in your state of residence. Wells Fargo is therefore required to report the write-off of the principal balance to you and to the IRS, Internal Revenue Services, on a Form 1099-C, cancellation of debt. They have just written off my debt, and I got this letter at the end of 7 years. I'm talking about right now, in December 2014, at the end of every 7 years, there should be a release of debt. I've just been released, just like we're preaching. Check this out. I got something else that came in. It's marked December the 8th, a few days later. I didn't get it then, but that's when it was sent, and I got it here around December the 13th or so. And it's from Chase Auto Finance. I began to question Chase Auto Finance. I had a car for Chase Auto Finance, but I paid that off about 2 years ago. I get this letter here. Clarence Griffin, your check is attached. Dear Clarence Griffin, during the recent review of your account above, we found that you were eligible for a lower interest rate of a certain percentage. We applied this interest rate reduction back to the original date of the loan, and attached is a check for the overage, $514.19. And I'm sitting here saying, Lord, that car has been paid for with Chase. I don't have a relationship with Chase anymore, but they have come back in the end of 7 years to say, we have overcharged you, and here's a check. I'm telling you, these things hit me both in the same week after we're preaching this release of debt. You want to grab hold of this message. If you want to order it on CD or DVD, you need to do that. You need to get this in your spirit right now, because God is about to make a release, and I want you to be a part of it. This is no joke, no lie. I'm telling you what God is doing right now in the earth realm at the end of every 7 years, because His people have been faithful. Let's get back to the message.